Alright, hello, welcome on in. We are commentating some KAGI Top Cut today. I am not playing, I am just here to be the faceless streamer who you value all their input from, because they're an expert in the field. I'm a KAGI champion, I know what I'm talking about. I have received one deck from our two competitors today, which are Ianyoinc and Contecaly. Contecaly was the only person who beat me in the bracket stage. It was the first match, and I was like, oh no, am I not going to even get into Top Cut? But luckily, I won every single match from there. So that guy's no slouch. I'm pretty sure it's his first season. Ianyoinc, I think, has actually won before. Not completely sure on that one. But if they haven't, then they've gotten far before. A very popular name. Everyone in the community knows them. And this is their deck. We've got Guinea Boot Fuego, the Unclear and Girded. Alright. And first off, I'm seeing two strong feelings here. One with a natural capture pip. So that is going to be able to ready something the moment it's played, because you'll capture onto your Geisted creature and then ready it. We've got an Empathic Malice, which has a bit of recursion. It's Logos enhanced, so you're going to be putting it back on your deck and you're going to be able to use it in two different houses. We've got a Ghost in the Sun here. So not only can we ready something that isn't even in play, we can put something in play, capture onto it, well, capture onto something else prior to that, and then we can do some readying. We've got a Junk Restoration, Return to Rubble for some creature control, two Stratawisers which do more capturing. So I can kind of see like the game plan going on here, especially in Geisted anyway. And then this Atomic Destabilizer could get real nasty depending on what our opponent is playing. In the Logos, we've got Effervescence Principle. It's just a strong Amber Control card. Placeholder for some damage. Hologrammophone. We've got many different two strong Logos artifacts there. Worm Tunnel, again, perfect capture pip for it, because you put it on something, immediately draw two cards. Ren's going to be doing some drawing. Ponder is probably going to be doing discarded every single time, but has a draw pip in case you don't want to. So actually, I suppose it's the same way either way, so you would be playing it, unless you have a discard pip outside of house. We've got Ezra Pause for some draw. Quantum Mouse, which will be the discard target, I imagine, most of the time. Two Skippies, so the scrap's extremely useful, depending on what the opponent's artifacts are, if any. And then we've got Neutron Shark for some more consistent damage with a capture pip as well. Moving on to the Mars, two Simwixes, no slouch at all. Number 612 to protect some of these important targets like Ren, like Ezra Pause. We've got two Crimson Daxes, a Xylo to bring them all in. One is Calculation for some more damage. Flotsam Spike if we somehow wipe our board, which is possible with Return to Rebel. So we might see some Flotsam Spike value. A Brain Dart, and a Stim Rager. So looking pretty nice. A bit creature heavy, a bit low on the pips. We've got some archiving. See if we see those Skippies played or scrapped. Yes, EP does suck because it's a better version. That's how upgraded cards work, unfortunately. Thank you for that, Captain Gale. I still haven't received Contecaly's deck, so is there anything else we're missing from this? The Quantum Compass is just really strong if the opponent doesn't have artifact control. Yeah, we've got Xylo doesn't have any Mars pips. Hologrammophone could do some work. Yeah, that Destabilizer alongside Hologrammophone, you can archive your opponent's creature, put this card on it, and then they can't even kill it if they choose to fight with it. So it can be real nasty in the right matchup. Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking these capture pips. There's got a perfect capture pip here, perfect capture pip here. We didn't touch on the Portal Guardian, but some more taunt to kind of keep these guys safe. I imagine usually strat-wise is quite a rubbish card, but with these strong feelings here, it could do some really good work. Discarding some of the more useless cards that you can afford to scrap over here, like Ponder, Skippy, another Skippy, Mouse, even some of these Mars cards, because you can bring them out of Xylo. Both of these cards can do some efficiency. The Crimson Daxes have proven to do some good work in the past. I always underestimate how good this card can be. I'm gonna see if they've started a game. They have, so I'm gonna tune in. So I don't know if our opponent is here. Fair enough. Well, you know what? He doesn't have to follow my instructions. We'll just take his deck as and when they start playing. And we'll see what they play. I hope everybody is having a good evening, day, morning, afternoon, whatever's going on. Skippy Mouse sounds like Keyforge is getting the copyright laws. Yes. Yeah, but I mean, if we're talking about Sailorboat Mickey, that's been away from copyright for a while now. It's decriminalized or whatever, so you can use your Sailorboat Mickey if you wish to. Alright, looks like Contecaly has picked a deck, and they're ready to go. Cool. Let me see if I can quickly take this name and throw it into my OBS. Where is it? Here. Here. Are they on the right sides? Yes, they are, fortunately. Otherwise that would be more work for me. Cool. Let's transition that over. I'm assuming they're both going to take some time to look at each other's decks, so I'm going to spend that time as well. Just having a look. It looks like we're actually going to have a hard time finding this deck, because it's Vietnamese. Nope, actually, just summons up for the first time. Okay. This is certainly a deck of all time. We have got an Arise, Double Mindfire, Maleficon, so those damage pips will be going crazy. Double De-Escalation. We've got a Skrill Swarm, Trade Secrets, which has double Amber and Geistoid, so you can discard. I'm assuming you're going to play a Rise with that, or yeah, right? Yeah, you got in here somewhere to archive that Rise. Make sure we're not missing anything. Double Wellstring. We've got Archive Hate. We haven't got a whole lot of Archive going on here, so not the strongest card. We've got Red Amber Drake with De-Escalation, so important not to forge the red key while we have this out. Talent Scout. Oh, we're underway. Cool. So Contecaly plays Omark, and then we've got two of our only two upgrades, artifacts coming out, and a Skippy and a Quantum Mouse. Ian will be drawing to 5 because of the Ven here. Just going to slightly turn down this volume. That's better. I can hear myself a bit more. See what Contecaly decides to respond with. We have a Paradrome with a discard pip, getting rid of one of those rubbish cards that we don't want to see. And then all hands on deck will be taking care of the Skippy. Good to have both the artifacts out early though. We've got no more efficiency loss by having those in the deck. They're ready to play whenever we go into Logos, so really strong first turn from Ian here. See what he follows up with. It's going to be an Ezra pause, revealing some strong cards in hand here. Gramophone's going to ward the pause. Mouse is going to reap, and then we have a placeholder. No doubt going to take care of that Venom mark. And Quantum Compass archiving a card. A decent strong turn. I think, yeah, we've had, you need those cards out early, and Ian certainly has done that. We've already seen what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Logos cards in 2 turns. So effectively hand cutting the Logos out of the rotation here. Maleficorn gonna take out the ward. Obviously can't do a damage and then another damage, because each damage pip is a single instance of 3 now that Maleficorn's in play. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but we'll see if that does some work. We can see that what's left in the hand is no, not a Janu anymore, just a de-escalation. I don't think Contecaly will be playing it, but we shall see. Back into Logos here. So yeah, we've got some more Logos coming out. That's Logos card number 7. I'm assuming that was the one archived, depending on what else we see here. Ren comes out, one of the 2. Discarding one of those Stratowisers. That's Logos card number 8. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ezrapors just fly into that Vapor Imp here. Yeah, because not to be trifled with. And yeah, the mouse just reaping for 1. Could have got to check here. Chose to fight instead. I think that's fine. I think, well, maybe it isn't fine. Maybe we should have gone for the reap there to check, but we'll see how Contecaly responds here. Plays it. Yeah, cool. It's never actually dealt. Because of the ward, the damage is never actually dealt. Cool. Oh, dealt damage. Right, gotcha. Okay. Might apply differently to how I see it. I suppose that makes a difference for cards like that Untamed card that gives you a damage per... gives you an amber per damage. I'm not sure if that would work with one of these. I'm not sure. I think it's effectively the same-ish thing, because it does the same damage to a creature, it's not you can spread it out. We can also see that Contecaly is flashing the 2025 contender cards here. You can see the little the badge up in the top right. So just throw in some flex on the game here. Siphonate Era is going to discard event, discard the Simwix and gain 1. I think we're probably quite upset to see that go, because Sinwix is quite a good card. Paradrone is going to fight into Ezrapors, makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Rotstorm would give 3 amber on this with this board, yeah. I thought that might be the case. And a Trade Secret's coming out in Geistoid. This is the thing we wanted to see. But doesn't choose to discard any cards with it, so gonna keep the de-escalation, which is interesting. I might have sacked that for a steal, but we'll see. I think Ian's more likely to wipe the board here than Contecaly, so. But keeping on to your creature control is never a bad thing. Unless it blocks your hand, then it is a bad thing. Yeah, Warden Armor. Very effective with these guys around. Don't think we have any armor in this matchup. The Simwix is actually do have a... Yeah, actually, I'm lying. We do have quite a bit of armor in the Mars. Worm Tunnel, gonna see that capture pip come out and immediately pay off for +2 cards. It has not drawn any more Logos cards here, but Ian just filling out his hand with more cards. We're gonna see him draw up to 9 here. Might be a deck strategy to hoard up cards. Not sure. I think Ian's kind of being like, "Come at me. Let me see what you can get. Let me see what you can do, and then I'll respond to it." That's what I'm seeing kind of play out here. Mindfire is going to discard a card from Ian. Unfortunately, gets the main form of damage control. Doesn't get the steal off it because it doesn't have a bonus icon, but seeing that get randomly discarded is it does suck. Especially since next turn, board could be wiped. But we're going to see double Venomort come out here. Some more this coming out. I mean, we're really going to have to see some kind of response to this board here. Truly a terrible discard there. Might need to see, but even the Neutron Shark probably isn't in hand. We're really going to have to see what we can do about this board. Yeah. Flotsam Spike obviously isn't going to help because we've got two cards on the board. Maybe could spend a turn in Logos getting rid of them. But then you risk, you risk Vapor Imp locking you out. Double Vapor Imp on the board is going to really hurt your ability to play cards here. I think it might even be your only choice though. But you actually can't because Quantum Mouse is exhausted. So can't even get rid of the board here. Yeah, Ian just taking some time to think. Makes sense. I think we're really gonna have to see some kind of response here to this board. Otherwise you're drawing 2 less a turn and effectively being locked out of potentially two card types. We see a Logos Call, so another archive warding something. Maybe not. Gonna ward the Ponder. It's gonna kill a Vapor Imp. Gotcha. I mean, if you're not drawing any cards, I suppose these two aren't doing anything at the moment. Yeah, I mean, naturally gonna see a Reap-Up for 5 here, I imagine. And gets rid of a card with the damage pip there. And we see no creature cards next turn. This might even be game over from here if Ian can't find a way to deal with this board quickly. We've got 6 Reaps coming down a turn if the disc board remains unchanged. Did they draw EPs? Okay. We're gonna go into Maleficorn. Might be able to get out of this with the Flotsam Spike. I always love to see these cards pit and work. Let's pray Ian has it and it doesn't set him too far behind. Is definitely gonna need it at this point, yeah, because this disc board is just gonna keep on going. Wellspring can obviously deal into the damage, so in the armor here, so can reap freely. Discards what with Vapor Imp? Action cards again. Yeah, that's not good. Was hoping for a non-action card there, I think, to chooses to deal 3 damage to their own Maleficon. Interesting. I would have chosen the armor, but perhaps has a plan. I'm not sure why you would do that, but why not? Ian's going to go Geistoid here. It's not pulled his archives, just going to build that archive back up. We've got Destabilizer coming on to Scythenator here. If we see a ward here, and Ghost in the Sun for no Forge. We'll see if Contecaly can get rid of his own Siphonator here to prevent. Now that is a good discard. Yep, gonna bring Haunted Deck back. That should be enough to kill your own Siphonator if you recognize the threat. Gonna reap with it, and we're gonna see it be destroyed with double damage pips here. I would assume so. Captures onto the Wellspring. Yeah, gets rid of the Siphonator. And I think that's probably game. Yeah, nice. I think it's enemies, isn't it? Yeah, enemy creature is dealt, so it wouldn't affect your own. If the damage pips come out onto your own creatures, it does not double them, because it's only if the enemy creature is dealt damage by a bonus icon. We see 3 damage to the power drone this time. Trunk Restoration is going to take a Wellspring. Wellspring's played, in here somewhere coming out. Gonna archive that red Amber Drake and De-escalation. And red Amber Drake's in Ecuador, yeah. So that's gonna be game here. I don't think Ian can do anything about that. This is the deck I played in the bracket stage, so I wonder if Contecaly's been playing it all the way through. It does have some decision points. It's a strong deck in its own right. Very disruptive. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Flotsam Spike just a little bit too late here. Needed it 2 turns ago when the opponent was on 5. But you know, maybe it has something. It's gonna have to get rid of a lot of amber, yeah. And De-escalation and Amber Drake will finish it out. So a quick game 1 here. As Ian, you've got to be wondering, does this deck do this consistently? Or was it just a good arise turn, a good discard, just a factor of luck? We shall see. I think Contecaly just guaranteeing they have enough amber for this forge. Here comes the red Amber Drake, and then the De-escalation will follow. Yeah, nice. GG's. That was a quick one. I think who started? Contecaly's deck started. Ooh. Yeah. They're both just agreeing to rematch and swap decks. Ian chooses to go first, that is correct. Yeah, the start was strong with the Logos, but yeah, ultimately could not keep up with the board state, I think. We'll see what game 2 is like. See if Ian remains vigilant here, gets a strong start perhaps. Ace Jonathan as a starting card is actually fine, because this card sucks if it captures 1, so it's a good thing that it hasn't captured 1. We're going to see 3 Mars cards here from Contecaly. Getting rid of some prime damage cards here. We're going to see how Ian replies to this. God, they really don't make rares like they used to, eh? If this card fought Ace Jonathan, it would be forced to kill itself, which would be crazy. These cards suck, man. We used to have some bad rares. Not so much anymore. We're gonna see discarding of the Scroll Storm with Drunk Restoration. Gonna archive it. We're gonna see Vested Herald, Trade Secrets, and Red Amber Drake. Bring the Red Amber Drake into hand. Yeah, another Drunk Restoration. This time gonna take the Talent Scout. So we've got a strong Ecuador card coming in here. Yeah, that return for Rubble discard was very key. But random discards will do that to you. You think, oh, I've got a perfect response to what my opponent has, and then they discard the card, and it's the perfect card you need, like a Trink's Creed, or in this case, a Return to Rubble. Definitely matters a lot. We're going to see Stim Rager do some damaging here, and then just playing a Simwix, just playing it slow. I respect it. Likely doing some hand cutting. I don't know what response we'd have in hand. Maybe a Logos coming out soon. Ian's going to go Dis here, which is surprising. I was expecting an Equidon hand, but we shall see what they choose to do. Gets rid of the Scroll Swarm to archive it. Nice. Yeah, obviously didn't do the 2 damage pips here because it hit into armor. A Venomark is always puts it on Ace Jonathan. Interesting. And then on a Rise, it's just going to bring those two discards back. What are we discarding? We are discarding Energy Vampirism. So kind of forcing Contecaly to deal with the board here, and then we might see a de-escalation in Red Amadric anyway, so just being like, well, I forced you to deal with my board, but I was going to destroy it anyway. But yeah, I mean, we've got 4 discards out. We need to see some sort of reaction here. We have an Amber? Yeah, cool. I suspect we'll see a Mars here, yeah. Just dismantling this disboard. We're going to see some Stim Rage of value, that's for sure. I want to see Simwix into Ven to... Oh, we're going to go with the Stim Rager first. It's going to fight a Vapor Imp and the Ven. We're going to Reap with the Simwix? Surely not, right? No, we're going to fight into there. And then put an Amber onto Ace Jonathan. Sure, why not? Oh yeah, you could have done that, Captain Gale, but we did not see that happen. Just seeing why they would maybe choosing to go to 0 Amber for a reason. If Ian has those capture pips, maybe? I don't know. I think that was an interesting use of those Mars creatures. We're going to see what's in hand. Oh, I suppose we don't get to see what's in hand, but Ian gets to see what Contecaly has here. Chooses to play a Fort Catcher. A decent card with the creatures we have out on field. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have done that, Gale, but everyone plays differently. We're going to see Oceanothan fly into Simwix here to draw a card. Skrill Swarm is going to deal some damage. I think having like damage on the board is just too important, I think. If you get rid of your own Stim Rager, you're kind of removing any counterplay to a strong board. Even though this card isn't fantastically strong by itself, just having it as a threat is important. I think it gets rid of all those annoying 2-power disc creatures. And not particularly hard, not particularly easy to take down either. Needs 5 damage into this creature. We're going to see a Strong Feeling. So Empathic Malice onto Stratwise does not get put on the bottom because the opponent is not haunted. Strong Feeling to Ready. Ready the Stim Rager, or gets the Amber off the Stim Rager. And ready to the Stratwise. Stratwise is going to discard Skippy. Not haunted, so no capture. And no Amber to capture. Is there any big? No, there's no artifacts, so those guys are scraps, are never going to be useful. Interesting to discard the Skippy though. One of the stronger cards in that deck, I think. We'll see what they preferred over it next turn, perhaps. Mindfire is going to get rid of a Crimson Dax. Oh, I don't think they have much of a choice actually. Yeah, those 2 powers are coming back out. Yeah, gonna get rid of getting rid of the Stratwise and yeah, getting rid of the Talent Scout's good. If we've got any Mars cards in hand here, we probably want to get rid of that Vapor Imp. Yep. Plays another Simwix. I think reason enough to go Mars here, actually. I just don't think you can afford to keep this guy alive. Gets rid of the Vapor Imp, probably bringing the Maleficon to the flank and getting rid of it. Nope, just going to get rid of the Syrian instead. Doesn't want to give the opponent the draw. Which is fair. Bit more of a slower game this time. Ian's just been having some time to go through all the resources. We saw that red amber drink remained in hand, so that card's still, yep, there it is. Gonna see it get discarded or destroyed with the de-escalation. Gonna get 2 from the Dust Imp. Gonna get some draws as well. Seems like we didn't draw into any Ecuadon, which is a shame. So some useless draws there. Worm tunneling for some immediate value. Gonna see if we draw anything good here. We've not seen Logos played all game, so I suspect we have a strong hand here. Gonna get rid of the number 612. We're gonna see any more. We've got a Logos card coming in for a draw. Can choose to discard with the Quantum Mouse. Just gonna choose not to do that. I think that's reasonable. I like this card's effect, but it's a shame it's on a 1 power creature. You rarely ever even get the choice to. I think most of the time you even forget this card even has an ability. I think I've used this card's effect maybe once, and it's been on the field quite a few times, and I had the option. I've only ever chosen to discard once. I think it was a gobber, so I could make the opponent lose too. Alright, Ian's going to respond with Geistoid. We're going to see a Wellstring come out, a discarding of Colonel Slime. In here somewhere's going to archive some cards. I wonder what we're going to see. I'm assuming probably an Arise and a Mindfire perhaps? Or the De-escalation? Or Trade Secrets maybe? Maybe, I don't know, it's tricky. It's the whole point, adaptive decks are tricky. I think we're definitely going to have to see that Arise be archived here. But what is the other card? I think Trade Secrets is not a bad hold. Yes, you still get the Amber, but you get 2 Amber from Dust Imp anyway. So I think the 2 extra for the Destroyed effect probably isn't worth a board of Dis, right? I'd rather have a board of Dis than just discarding. Well, maybe if you want to look after board consistently. This deck does have 21 creatures. I just think this deck has 2 de-escalations, and we've only seen 1, right? Yeah. So the other one's coming, so we don't necessarily even need to, Oh, goes for the Arise and de-escalation. I think that's fair. I probably would have Trade Secrets, because we're going to see another one come up soon. And then you can play your guys Ecuador turn. You can steal with anything that isn't de-escalation, and then play a de-escalation. I'm not sure. It's tricky. We're going to see Atomic Destabilizer come out. Junk Restoration. Chooses to return Wellstring. Just going to try and keep that board, I think, quite important. But if we're going to see de-escalation next turn anyway, perhaps I would have taken the Brain Dart, perhaps. Ghost in the Sun is going to bring out something for free. I think it's going to be... Well, I don't know what it's going to be. We're going to see. A Simwix, perhaps? Thought Catcher? Yeah, smart. That way you're saying if you do blow my board up, I'm going to be drawing a bunch with Thought Capture. A good time to de-escalation though, because the Archive 3 is only going to be an Archive 2, because the opponent only has 2 in the draw. I think it depends which way you do it though, right? Maybe that's not true. I think maybe these take priority first. Maybe it's active player decision whether they choose to draw first. Definitely a closer game this time. I think you just have to destroy the board here. This would have been great for trade secrets. Gonna choose not to take the archive, so did draw the other de-escalation. Obviously getting rid of that destabilizer is important as well. Yeah, so they do get the draws first, and then they get the archive, which does suck. We see a discard of Grizzly Exchange. Obviously doesn't want to deck out, because then their Arise is useless. So a wise discard there. Contecaly going into Mars with a 14 card hand. I doubt that deck has ever seen a 14 card hand, but that is the joy of Keyforge. We're going to see, I assume, quite a few creatures come out here. Yep, Xylo, definitely a Dax. Cobalt will be coming out as well. There they are. There's the 4. Any more? They would have had to drew into any more, because the rest went in the draw pile. But scary enough as is. Obviously they have the replay of de-escalation again, but just going to give Contecaly another big hand. But yeah, this card is a threat. This card is a threat. This is a splash attack too. It's a tricky board to come up against. Obviously, nothing guaranteed at this point. Glider coming out. Gonna discard something. Something to scrap, perhaps. Just gonna get rid of the strong feeling with no capture pip. I think that's smart. Yeah, and just saying to Ian, right, I've got 5 creatures out. Are you gonna de-escalation me again? And we're just gonna see that draw pile dwindle here. Has to pull the plug on this disc eventually. But with this number 612 around, those 2 power of disc creatures are not going to be the threat they once were. Maleficant, obviously, I don't think it does get its static effect. So as it comes in, it can kill something with 2 power. So we're probably going to see that Xylo come down if so. We're going to have to do some careful board arrangements. Does choose to go into this, so we're going to see that Arise come out. I think there is some more damage pips inside the disc. It's going to get double Maleficant out. I don't think there was any more damage pips apart from... Oh no, there's one on the World String. So actually, going to successfully get rid of 2 creatures here. I wonder if one of them will be the 612. If it is, it doesn't... the Xylo has to go first, because otherwise it can just play this card for free. So, going to have to be Xylo and Dax, I think. We're going to pay attention to the placement of the creatures. 612 doesn't have an easy way to get rid of both of these without giving Ian 2 amber. So, quite wise there. Going to throw Serene over there. Going to throw, the other van over there. So, not giving Contecaly an easy way to get rid of these creatures, but yeah. There comes the first discard with damage pip. Going to discard a Paradrone. Yep, not a great card. Gets rid of the Xylo. Second damage pip, I assume is going to target that Dax, but could also very well target the Glider, because then the Glider can't fight for free. Or even the number 612. So it can't, it can't survive an attack from any 2 power. And yeah, this board is huge now. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 creatures. Mindfire is going to get rid of Ren. I don't know if my opponent had anything to steal. He did. He had 2 amber. We saw 1 capture, 1 steal. Yeah, just such a disgusting board, right? You need to have answers for this. And I'm assuming we're going to see Return to Rebel come out here. But even so, the Arise could be very well shuffled back in. We could see all these cards die, and then Ian could go right back into this, play the Arise that he's just drawn, and return another 10 creatures to the board. It's there's truly no way to disrupt this unless you see. Well, you can't purge it if it hasn't come out yet. But that Arise has to be a prime purge candidate for something like Haunting deck that I'm not sure the opponent has. Yeah, just a casual 12 discard turn. We're gonna see Fort Catcher come out, so potentially gonna draw 2 cards with the Nope, gonna choose to a Strong Feeling first, so gonna take the Amber off the cards. Surely you have to have Return to Rebel here, right? Oh, does have it. I think I would have taken the draw. I think I would have taken the draw 2 first. But it does deny the opponent the Amber, so I think this way around the opponent doesn't get the Forge. So, oop, what have I just done? Get that out of there. Yeah, actually I agree with that. And now that I think about it, I think that's better. But yeah, we're going to see if Ian just has a Rise ready to go. Does not. Go into Ecuadon. Gets rid of the de-escalation. Talent Scout is going to pull a card from Contecaly's hand here, if he does have any creatures in hand, that is. Very likely considering there's 21 of them. Ooh. A Ren. And gets rid of the Cursed Relic. That is a crazy turn. Gets rid of your own Cursed Relic in hand with your opponent's Ren, because it has the discard pip, and obviously doesn't have Logos, so can just choose to exhaust Ren every turn for an extra draw. Very strong there. Contecaly forced to destroy his own Amber here in an effort to stop Ian forging. We're going to see an archiving of a card. I assume a warning of the Talent Scout. Ren is not long for this world. It goes down. Contecaly is going to show us the contents of Ian's hand, which is quite strongly leading into Geistoid here. Suspect we're going to see a Geistoid hand. Do we see a few more creatures come out? We're going to see a Warding of Ezra Paws. I think that's fair. A Neutron Shark coming out. That's interesting. And it's going to be forced to destroy... I always get confused about Neutron Shark. Destroys the Talent Scout. Then destroys Skippy. Then discards Brill Exponder. Okay. I'm not sure I would have played that there, but you need as many cards as you can get on the board to deal with a potential Arise, even though your opponent doesn't have it. Now the All Hands on Deck can just target into that Neutron Shark. And I suspect we're going to see Colonel Slime discard Grizzly Exchange. We've got 2 discard pips though, and doesn't want to get rid of the red Amber Drake, so maybe we'll see a discard on Slime instead. Gonna discard Grizzly Exchange. Oh. Gonna choose to discard Moonlight Special. Fair enough. Haunting deck coming out. It's gonna do some damage. Damages the Shark and the Paws with the double discard, double damage pip there. Gonna purge Return to Rubble. So that's the board wiped and the primary creature control gone. So if that Arise does come out, I think that's gonna be game. Depends how Contecaly can respond here. His big Mars board is gone. Just what does he have left to deal with the board that Ian can throw out? Drawing 5 more cards, that Arise is coming out soon. Back into Mars. Want this calculation? That will take out the Power Drone. We're going to see some 2 cards come out. Not a bad response. They can do a little bit. They get around those damage pips quite well. See how you can respond here. A very close one here. I think so many decision points in pass you can go down. And if you don't have the Arise here, what is the play? Red Amber Drake? Going back into Geistoid. Perhaps just want to clear out some of those cards before you push the big red button. I can see that. Captures onto the Simwix. Probably going to choose to destroy it, I suspect. Can't let that thing hang around. Has a Siphonator, nice. We're going to see what this randomly archived Quantum Compass card is. Right after they discard something. Discard Skippy from hand. Trade Secrets coming out. Are we going to see that Red Amber Drake get discarded? I don't think so. Not worth the steal, right? Gets rid of the Vested Herald. Nice, another 5-card draw. Perhaps doesn't even need the Arise to put in the business here. I just don't think we have enough gas in this deck to take care of the expected Amber and the board at the same time. Junk Restoration going to come out. It's going to choose to bring that Malice back. I think that's smart. We're going to see, yep, capture 3. Have we seen both Strong Feelings? We have not, so I suspect the other one is lurking. And that Thought Catcher's been putting in so much work this game. I've never seen such a efficient Thought Catcher before. We're just drawing cards left, right, and center, or at least threatening the chance to draw cards left, right, and center with this guy. I always thought this card could be buffed and would give you draws depending on the amount of amber you have on the cards, but after this game, I think its effect is just fine. I don't think we need to draw any more cards. And then we see that capture go on to the Stratowise. Strong Feeling is going to take off 2 amber. Going to allow Contecaly here to reap and capture some more. Going to throw it all on the Stratowises. Just wiggling 3 amber there and saying, please attack it, please give me a draw. And Ian yet again thrown into what was originally a comfortable situation, now reversed. I think we have some capture pips on this dis. We've got one. Would need the second Mindfire, I think. We haven't seen both. To potentially take Contecaly off check here. Yeah, Veil is indeed a card, yes. Yeah, but I would be much better in charge of design after seeing what PV churned out. Please put me in design of cards. I'd love to design some Keyforge cards. I think this guy's fine. I don't think I would have buffed him. I'm just saying there's some times where I'm like, oh, I wish he did more. But after this game, he does enough. Like in some decks, if you just have the 2 capture pips and that's it, this card is rubbish. But in select matchups, it can be strong. I think he's good enough as is. He has a strong effect for an uncommon. He brings some enhancements in. Veil is indeed a card. I have a Veil deck with that rare that gets rid of all the amber on your Geist Story cards. It's very strong. You just capture like 7 and then wish it all bye bye. We see Siphonator come out here. Just catching up with the board. Going to discard Janute, brings Mindfire into hand. Plays Siphonator to discard that Silo, gaining 2. Kernel Slam's going to Reap in here somewhere. Gonna archive the Dis, right? At this point it has to be the Dis. Or you trade secrets and de-escalation perhaps? So you can just get a crazy amount of amber with the Amber Drake. Mindfire and trade secrets. Fair. Perfectly in 6 cards in hand here. Any more and their Arise would be worthless. Note this is game 2, not tonight. So no chains have been bidded yet. Players have just switched hands. The first game was a bit of a wash. Contecaly's deck got out this huge disboard of 10 creatures down here and discarded the Return to Rebel up here. And from there it was just a Reap out. Ian's deck had no counter to a board of 10. And we're going to see some Logos capturing and getting rid of Amber. Neutron Shark coming back out. God, when will the captured Amber end? We're going to see Slime go down and Shark to draw a card. Going to discard that Worm Tunnel, which is unfortunate. You would have wished to draw on that with Neutron Shark prior, but unfortunate indeed. Oh yeah, I should probably update my thing. You're confused because I'm being a bad streamer. Hold on. Is this the right one? No, this is the wrong one. And which one is it? Scores, this one. There you are. There's now a mark in place. There comes the Arise. Mindfire unfortunately does not get anything with a pip on it. But if the opponent was indeed going to go Ghost Road next turn, it does stop them from playing a card. And this is really a close one, folks. There's been many a time here where I was like, Ian's got it in the bag, and then Contecaly has masterfully played this deck here. Just constantly getting Ian off jack and forcing him to rethink his life decisions. And me too. I've been thrown in a roundabout here. But is this disboard going to be too much to hurdle over? Personally, if I'm Contecaly, I just rush check, right? This deck does not have enough. This deck does not have enough creature control to play around just reaping out. Obviously, those damage pips are going to take out the Serenes here. Strat-wise, rather. And with only 9 pips in the deck, it's going to be a real close one. We've seen 2 of them. There's 7 left to go. Yep, there's the first Stratwise gone. And we have a damage pip on the well string that's going to come out in a second. Discarding Junk Restoration. Interesting. Yeah, that well string is going to come out. Take another one of the amber with it. Now, does Contecaly have anything he can do here? We're going to need to see that full capture go down and a Flotsam Spike come out perhaps. And I don't think we have any way of doing that in the same house. There goes Mindfire number 2, also taking out a creature. Perhaps actually giving some Contecaly some indirect efficiency. Is there anything Contecaly can do? Indeed, that's literally been every single turn, not tonight. I'm like, oh, Ian's gonna win, and then it flips around, and I'm like, oh, Contecaly's gonna win, and then it flips it back round. I'm like, Ian's gonna win. There's been some massive swings here in this game. I think it's gonna make chain bidding really difficult here. 4 captures gonna take care of some of the board, just preventing any lockouts. Another strong feeling, nice. Perhaps needed that. That was the creature control they were looking for, perhaps. Choosing to reap instead, I think, is certainly a play. But perhaps can't afford to give the opponent any more amber here. I just think you need the draw, right? You just have to Hail Mary, give them the amber, and hope you draw something. But is there anything to draw? Is the question. The EP is gone. The strong feelings are gone. The malice is gone. And Wellstring taking out the 4 capture there. We're going to see a Brain Dart. The Flotsam Spike does come out. Just a little bit too late there on the value. And that's game. We're going to a decider, folks. Goodness gracious. I would not like to be in either of these players' shoes here. This is a difficult match indeed. Makes me thankful I'm not playing either of these players. Because I've played Contecaly once and he took me down. So alright. We're gonna see it go to a 3rd game here, adaptive best of 1. Chain bidding. For those who don't know, that means that every chain you bid is 1 less card you draw. Per 6 chains, I think. So if you have 6 chains, you draw 1 less card for 6 turns. Once you go on to 7 chains, you then draw 2 less cards for a turn. When you're back down to 6, it's back down to 1 less card a turn. I'm just wondering... Oh, I'm in the wrong slot. I'm not playing. I definitely do not want to be playing. There we are. How many chains can this deck realistically take? No, the first game was a wash. The disboard came out really quickly. The Mindfire discarded Return to Rubble, and then Ian's deck had no counter to the disboard reaping out like 4 turns in a row. They tried their best, but it was so much amber and so much disruption. They were essentially being locked out by the Vapor Imps as well. Going straight up to 9 chains, wow. These players are not messing around. They have played the match, I haven't. They know how many chains it's going to take. I wonder if both had chains in mind immediately going into it. We're seeing no playing around. I would have expected this chain bidding to go on a little while, but their players are eager to get going. Up to 13 chains. I mean, this deck does have low expected amber, but still, really? Just how many chains is it going to take? Is 13 the magic number that Ian's willing to pass on? He would be playing his own deck. Obviously, Contecaly's deck starts, so he can immediately shed a chain by mulliganing. Going up to 14. And Contecaly gives it to him. Obviously, just going to remind them, the first player is Ian. Or Jan. I actually don't know how to... I think I've commentated Ian's game at least once before, and I've never been corrected, so... So either it's Ian or I'm pronouncing it horribly wrong. 14 is a lot. I think we'll have to see. Over 40. I mean, this deck is slow for its expected amber though. But considering just how close that last game was, are you hoping 13 chains and you get your board immediately? I'm not quite sure. If I'm Contecaly here, I'm hoping to get rid of that's going to be a good piece of efficiency if the opponent can't get rid of it. And that is a good start for Logos. Wow, that is a really good start for Logos. Just 4 creatures right out the gate, 2 archiving. Yeah, I think Contecaly just has too many turns, I think, to get around this. Vapor Imp gonna discard Flotsam Spike, so... Oh no, randomly discards Flotsam Spike, gotcha. Then we're gonna discard Herald, so no creatures next turn. And, oh yeah, discarding the Herald as a scrap forces you to archive some cards. So actually, not too bad. If you're Contecaly here, you can't go back into Logos and replay that Ren. Do you just go back into Logos and archive 2 more cards? Yep, correctly not taking their archives there because they can't play Ren. Obviously that Siphonator is could be lurking at any point. So a gain 4 of the archives would not be bad at all. Just an insanely good match at the moment. It's been a long time since I've had to watch such thrilling gameplay. Now, does Ian have a response here? Doesn't draw anything off the Worm Tunnel, so we're going to have 7 cards in hand. I suspect we might actually see Logos happen again. I'm going to Mindfire the Junk Restoration, a very, very critical discard there. I think that is, and discards the Curse Relic. Gets that out of the hand early. Not too shabby. Yeah, we're going to see Logos happen again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Throw out that Ren. Discard something with a scrap, or something you don't want, like Crimson Dax. Placeholder's going to get rid of that Vapor Imp. And then double Skippy going to archive 2. We've seen quite a few chains go already, but If Ian doesn't have a way to get rid of this board, I think we're going to be seeing a Logos Reap out. Gives Ian the 2 with the Dust Imp Destruction. And Contecaly now says I have 4 creatures on the field that can reap, and I have 7 cards in hand. Yep, de-escalation, straight up. Ian goes, I want nothing to do with that, get him gone. And I agree with that. But just giving them a strong return here. You may get rid of their Logos board, but how do you deal with a Geistoid board with likely a strong feeling coming out here? Contecaly just returns to Rubble immediately, giving Jan all those cards back. No, they return themselves, giving themselves all those Logos cards back. Interesting. One of those times where you see this card not be used for its destruction effect primarily, but being used for its recursion effect. There's the Ghost in the Sun to capture. Strong Feeling going to capture another. Ready 2 cards, or 3 cards, as the case may be. Yeah, had 3 capture pips there. Yeah, and we're going to see a board of 4, 8 amber. What can Ian do about this? He's got 9 chains. And he's a key down if he can't do anything about this. Into Geistoid. Energy Vampirism onto the Fork Catcher, damaging the Wellstring. Always a weird card, this one. You can capture onto a creature, but you can deal damage to a different creature. Especially with like the Vampirism effect, I would always assume it would have to be the creature you capture one from its own side onto, but no. All hands on deck at the exact 10 card mark. Probably going to see that Fork Catcher go down, I assume. Or Portal Guardian and 2 onto Fork Catcher, perhaps. Nope, choosing to get rid of the Fork Catcher. Paradrone's going to discard that last card, which is the Mosquito. Not sad to see that disappear at all. And the lead isn't as convincing as it says. They may be a key down, but the opponent has blasted through 2 major damage cards here. If you can just get a board of this down. One is calculation always feels bad when you're a key behind and it still gives the opponent some value. You're like, but they don't have less amber than me. They have 6 more amber in that key, but it does not matter for the physical total. Yeah, I expected we were going to see one of those Simwixes. Just capturing onto that Geistoid, I assume. Oh no, onto the Glider that time. Yeah, I mean, I would love to play Devil's Advocate and say that Ian can do some things here, but with what? You need to throw down another de-escalation here to even stay in the game. Has it. But that's all they've got. Obviously reducing their chains. If we see that Logos board come right back out, what are you to do? Oh, I have a bot in my chat. Oh, I don't mean to pin that. How do I get rid of him? Be gone, sir. How do I get rid of this guy? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I can do some more on my other screen. Ban. There we are. Okay. Couldn't do that on my mobile. I had to switch to my computer for that one. We see Jan go into Geistoi, get rid of the archives, discard Neutron Shark, which is strong indeed. Contecaly responds by playing an Ezra Pause, revealing the Horizon hand. Placeholder's going to destroy that will string. Plays out the Wren, discarding Xylo. Skippy's gonna add some more to that archive. We're on check for key 2, and Ian here perhaps has a chance to start up the breaks with the dis here. Or do they trade secrets? And probably trade secrets, right? And you just discard those 2 cards to steal 2. We'll give you a lot more cards in hand right next turn. They'll draw 4 cards, right? If I'm Ian, that seems pretty optimal to me. Yeah. Just gonna clear out that hand. Oh, plays the Serene. Interesting. I would have just got rid of it. I know it gets rid of your Siphonator, but is that providing that much value to you? Obviously, Contecaly knows at this point that the opponent has the Arise. It's going to play out that Emphatic Malice. Not sure what we're going to see that go on to. Obviously, Serene can be destroyed by fighting into Wren. It's 3 power hazardous 1. We'll do 4 power to the Serene. Going to throw it on the Water Skippy. I think that's smart. And then immediately get rid of 1. Perhaps I would have put it on the Stratowise then. I'm not sure. Depends if you had anything in hand you didn't want. Perhaps you want everything in your hand. And then Wren's going to exhaust itself. So I suspect they've got some Geistrod cards in hand as a result. If they had discarded the Serene here last turn, the opponent would not be on check. Obviously, they have some answers with any capture pips they have in Dis. I don't think anything in the discard pile has anything. But there is a There is a card with a capture pip on. It is this Venomark if they have it. Gonna go into Dis. We see the ward being taken off Skippy. Serene's gonna fight into Skippy. Interesting. Arising back all of their boys. Here they come. Oh yeah, has a capture pip on the Arise. Right, so can take the pony off check anyway. But obviously gonna lose 2 with that Serene being there. And if Contecaly wards it next turn, that's gonna be providing some massive actually no, Hazardous will take care of it. So it doesn't even matter if it's warded. It will die either way. EP coming out. Gonna choose to sacrifice their own Amber to restrict Ian here. But we see 5 chains down. We've got 5 chains left. We've had what? 9 chains being discredited. And depending on what Contecaly can do here, he might be left with no board next turn, no cards to play with the Vapor Imps. Yeah, why is he going to take one of them out? Emphatic Malice comes out. Going to capture 3 onto that Stratawise. I suspect we'll see... Yeah, I mean, suspecting that thing is going to go down, so exhausting it. As Ian here, you've got to go back into Dis. Got to take advantage of this board. Got to use it while you have it. We might actually see this Mosquito do some damage here. Fighting into the Ezra Paws, killing the Quantum Mouse, just thinning down that board. I suspect we'll see Wellspring take out the Stratawise, and then Serene fighting into the Ren here. Or other way around, to actually you get a kill. String into Ren, Serene into Stratwise. And then a Vapor Imp will take something out of the hand. There's a Disc creature. Ian just taking his time, counting in his head what he can do. This is an important turn here. You need to keep your board safe while simultaneously getting rid of your opponents. I think if you play this right here, you just lead them with a Brill Exponder. And I doubt they're going back into Logos after that turn. Gonna Reap with Wellstring. You see the Ren go down. Gotta get rid of that Serene. Maybe you just leave the Stratwise because it's exhausted, right? Yeah. Maybe you just give them no chance to get out of a lock with Vapor Imp here. Yeah, Mosquito gonna get rid of the rest of the board. Dust Imp gonna Reap. Vapor Imp gonna Reap. No action cards. Yeah, and there's Contecaly here. You've got no Flotsam Spike available. If Rebel was in that hand, you're not a check and you can't play it because there's no action cards next turn. Needs to come up with a counter quickly here before Ian runs away with this disboard. Goes into Mars. Contecaly just playing a quick turn there. Playing 3 creatures, archiving a card. And this compass has just been putting in work all 3 games. Back into this. I suspect we'll see another discard. 2 more discards is rough for Contecaly here, not what we wanted to see. I suspect we'll see Mosquito take out one of the Mars cards, deal 2 damage to that Ianyoinc. Wellspring will finish it off. Perhaps you Dust Imp into the other Crimson decks. And then you leave the Stratwise again. No more actions, so yet again, no way of dealing with the board with actions next turn. Have to get rid of the Ianyoinc here. Yeah. Gonna deal 3 damage to it. We're actually gonna see that Mosquito put in some work. Now Dust Imp is gonna finish it off. Yep, I mean same thing. Just different creatures fighting. Leaving that Stratwise out isolated. And Contecaly can't play any actions next turn, so it's gonna have to be more creatures, which can maybe easily picked off. Or what, we don't know. It's looking real dicey here now. Need to have an answer quickly before that board can do any more damage. Gonna take out that Vapor Imp, I think that's wise. This is an afterfight effect, I completely forgot I did have one. Yep, gonna discard that placeholder, capture another Amber. But at this point we have Jan's gonna go up to what, 11 here? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yep. 11 if you reap 5 times and get 4 Amber back. And even if you have Rebel in hand or something, you're shuffling in all these cards well, actually you do want them. You can't quite get that EP in. And now you can't get that Malice either. With Rebel, yeah, you're putting in all these cards you don't want. Force the damage itself here. And we'll discard something they no doubt don't want. Yep, Scroll Swarm, can archive it. One of my favourite scrap cards to come out of Grim Reminders there. This card's amazing. Not because it's necessarily good, but just the scrap is so cool. Just ways of mitigating those discard pips you have. Brain Dart and Mars. Are we going to see that Flotsam Spike? They need a hit to stay in the game. Yep, they have it. Might be too little, too late here, but we will see. A lot of their captured Amber's gone. Not many ways of taking Ian off check here. I'm assuming he has ways of getting to check. We're going to see a Reap. I'm assuming we have a Junk Restoration left, right? We've not seen both of them. Slime will capture an Amber. Haunting deck, I assume, going to get rid of one of those Amber control cards. I suspect we'll see EP go out here. Yep, there goes the EP. In here somewhere to archive something. I suspect we'll see Trade Secrets. Yep. Obviously, they have the Red Amber Drake in hand. So, I think this is going to be game. This is not something I predicted. Not something, even not tonight's predicted in the chat. They suspected Contecaly would just have enough turns to get it done here, but Going to be thwarted by his own deck here. And we're going to lose what I think is our only Italian representation in KAGI this year. Rebel comes out. It's not gonna stop that de-escalation Amber Drake in hand though. Or the 2 Amber they already have. Overcheck. Ghost in the Sun gonna capture another one. Can put 2 cards into play. Gonna see Skippy and Ren come in. Obviously doesn't get the capture off with the put into play. It's not play. The Malice is gone. What does he have left? Contecaly maybe mistakenly thinking they do get the capture here. Ultimately doesn't make a difference because that red Ember Drake is in hand. And that's that. That's game, folks. Contecaly concedes. Thwarted by his own deck. Ian gets it done. 14 Chains gets it done. They were bidded very quickly. Turns out was just about the right number of chains to get. That Arise came out late in the deck, came out at the right time. If we saw that Arise like hand 1, really, really tricky, I think. You needed that disboard like late game, mid to late game. Kind of praying that Arise comes out. It's going to be a 2-1. If we look at the bracket, I'm going to open up the bracket for you lovely people. If I can find the bracket. Where is it? There it is. Cool. Yeah, cool. You guys can see it. My mind is blown. Mine too. I really didn't think we were going to see that. No problem. It was a wonderful showcase. I am blessed to be able to commentate it. We're going to quickly take a look at this top cut. So here I am down here. So I'm going to be facing one of these 2 people, but we don't care about that. We know Ian or Jan's going to move off to face JT Russell in the next round. One of Not Too Night's teammates, and one of my arch nemesises, the Sloppy Lab Work team. I can never beat them. So if they can take one of themselves out, that'd be much appreciated. And that's that, folks. As you can see, bracket's starting to take some shape. I really don't want to face Crusader here. I really hope Unfathom will take some down. I don't know if we've had the results of that yet. I don't think we have, right? Yeah, they're playing tomorrow. Cool. Well, I'm going to call it there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And I will catch you in the next stream, I suppose. I think I'll probably stream my next game if nobody else can. So you'll get to see me face one of these 2 talented KAGI players next week. Alright. Have a good night, everybody.